everybody, welcome to today's lesson. My name is Miss Bella, and in today's lesson we will be learning about how to find missing addends. Do you know what addends are? Addends are simply numbers that you add together to get an answer. Usually in your addition questions, you'd have two numbers you add together to find an answer. But in some other questions, you have one number plus an empty box and an answer. That empty box has a missing addend. Remember, an addend is a number you add together to get another number. Now, how do you find the number that is supposed to be in that box? For example, if you have a question like 4 plus empty box equals 10. First, you have to draw the number of bubbles for the answer. The answer here is 10, so that means you have to draw out 10 bubbles. Remember, the first step is to draw out the number of bubbles for the answer. Here our answer is 10, so we're drawing out 10 bubbles. The next step is to cross out the number of bubbles for the one number we are given. Remember, we are given one number plus an empty box. You have to cross out the number of bubbles for that number you're given. And in this question, that number is 4. So that means we have to cross out 4 bubbles. After doing that, the next step is to count the remaining bubbles. When you count the remaining bubbles and get your answer, that number is the number that is supposed to be in the empty box. So here we had 10 bubbles and we've crossed out 4 bubbles. What we have left is 6. That means in the empty box we are supposed to have 6. So 4 plus 6 will make 10. Let's try out another question. 7 plus empty box equals 9. Remember, the first step is to draw out the number of bubbles for the answer. The answer here is 9, so that means we have to draw out 9 bubbles. After drawing 9 bubbles, we then cross out the number of bubbles for the number we are given, which is 7. So we have to cross out 7 bubbles. After crossing out 7 bubbles, we then count the remaining bubbles to get the number that is supposed to be in the empty box. Now the remaining bubbles we have here are 2 bubbles. So that means the number that is supposed to be in the empty box is 2. So 7 plus 2 makes 9. Now let's try one more. 5 plus empty box equals 6. Remember, your first step is to draw out the number of bubbles for the answer. The answer here is 6. So that means we are drawing out 6 bubbles. After drawing out 6 bubbles, we then have to cancel out 5 bubbles because that is the only number we were given. After canceling out 5 bubbles, we have to count the remaining bubbles. Right here we have just 1 bubble left. So that means 1 is the number that is supposed to be in the empty box. So 5 plus 1 will give you 6. To find the missing number in a box is very easy as far as you follow the steps. Remember, the first step again is to draw out the number of bubbles for the answer, then cross out the number of bubbles for the one number you're given. After then, count the remaining bubbles to get the number that is supposed to be in the empty box. That's it for today's lesson. I'll see you in our next lesson. Bye.